For centuries, gold has been, the ultimate store of value. It's heavy, it's real, you can hold it, it's trusted. But in our world, which moves at the speed of light, that physical nature can actually be a weakness. So what happens when you try to connect the world's oldest money with the very newest technology? Okay, let's get into it. At its core, the idea is actually super simple. Gold advocate Peter Schiff sums it up pretty much perfectly. You take real, physical gold, you lock it up in a super secure vault, and then you issue a digital token that's basically a claim check for that gold. And that token, you can trade it, send it, and store it all digitally.
And right there, that's the whole problem, isn't it? The digital token is just a promise. How can we be 100% certain that for every single token out there, there's a real physical piece of gold sitting in that vault? This is the billion-dollar question the entire industry is trying to answer.
But hang on. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of how we solve that huge trust problem, it's worth asking, why even bother? I mean, what's the big deal about giving gold this kind of digital upgrade anyway?
Well, this really lays out the practical benefits. Let's be honest, physical gold is kind of clunky. You can't just easily send a chunk of it across the world, and you're definitely not buying your morning coffee with it. But when you tokenize it, it becomes instantly transferable, infinitely divisible. Your ownership is locked down by cryptography, not just a physical safe. It basically takes all of gold's ancient, rock-solid monetary properties and just supercharges them for the internet age. And this isn't some theoretical pie-in-the-sky idea. Not at all. Big-time players like Paxos and Tether have already issued billions of dollars worth of these gold-backed tokens. Products like Pax Gold and Tether Gold are being traded on major exchanges every single day, which just goes to show you there's a huge demand for a digital version of the old yellow metal.
Okay, so the appeal is definitely there. We get it. But this brings us right back to that massive billion-dollar question. All of these tokens and the billions they represent, they all depend on one single thing.
The trust problem. How do we get beyond just taking a company's word for it? How do we prove, and I mean really prove, that the backing is real, and not just at one point in time, but continuously, all the time?
And here's the absolute core of the dilemma, and it's stated perfectly by Peter Schiff himself. Even as one of its biggest supporters, he admits the whole model right now hinges on trusting a third party. And, whenever you have to rely on trust, you're introducing a potential point of failure.
So the way we've tried to handle this so far is with audits. An accounting firm comes in once a month, or maybe once a quarter, and they publish a report that says, yep, the gold is there. But what happens in between those reports, in all those weeks or months? That gap, that's a window of uncertainty where you're just back to operating on pure trust.
And this isn't just us being paranoid. This is a real risk. Tether, one of the biggest token issuers on the planet, was fined $41 million by U.S. regulators for, you guessed it, misrepresenting its reserves. This is proof positive that when you rely on trust, that trust can be broken, and with very, very real financial consequences. So it's clear we need a better way.
And that better way is starting to emerge. It's really a fundamental shift in how we think about this stuff, moving from a system that's based on trusting people and companies to one that's based on verifiable mathematical proof.
Now, the key to this whole new system is something called a cryptographic hash. The easiest way to think about it is like a unique, totally tamper-proof digital fingerprint for any piece of data. If you change even a single comma in a huge document, the entire fingerprint changes completely. It's what makes it mathematically impossible to secretly mess with the records.
So using these digital fingerprints, a new generation of systems can build all these layers of continuous proof. It starts at the bottom with the blockchain, which gives every single transaction a permanent public timestamp. Then you have things called oracles, which are really just multiple independent sources confirming data, so no one party can cheat the system. All this proof gets stored in an archive that can't be changed, and it's constantly being cross-checked against public info. It's a system that's built from the ground up to be transparent. You don't have to trust, you can just look.
And there's a company called the Libertome Corporation that's right at the forefront of this whole shift. Their project Goldstay isn't just talking about these ideas. They're actually building the infrastructure to make this kind of radical transparency a reality. They're trying to move the whole industry away from those slow, periodic audits and toward constant mathematical verification.
So what does a future like that actually look like? I mean, what happens when anyone, anywhere in the world, can check the truth for themselves without having to ask for permission or trust some middleman? Well, it leads to a future that is radically transparent.
This is really about democratizing verification. Just picture it, a public dashboard where you can see the reserves in real time. Imagine open-source tools that let you run your own audit right from your own computer. That famous crypto saying, "Don't trust, verify," stops being just a cool slogan and becomes a practical, everyday thing you can actually do. It puts the power back where it belongs, with the user.
And to show you just how serious they are about this, projects like GoldStay are even offering what they call bug bounties. They are offering up to $50,000 to anyone who can find a real flaw in their system. I mean, that is the ultimate commitment to being transparent, literally paying people to try and prove you wrong.
And that kind of leaves us with this one last, fascinating thought. Tokenized gold is really just the start. This huge shift from relying on human trust to relying on cold, hard mathematical proof is an incredibly powerful idea. When we can instantly verify the truth about any digital asset, just think, what other parts of our financial world could be completely reinvented?